Hello everybody, and just here, and welcome back to Nanatsu no Maken ga Shihai Suru, episode 14. We are slowly but surely nearing the end. Is the listing of... yeah, it's changed. It's now listed as 15 episodes. So, the penultimate episode, second to last. And it feels weird, you know? It really feels weird having this episode be the second to last. Because I really feel like there is so much more. And I know there is so much more because the light novels are still coming out, if I'm not mistaken. Or have they finished? I'm not sure, honestly. But yeah, I know that the anime didn't cover and won't cover the entire light novel, even within those 15 episodes. But it still feels to me like this show is, or should be, at least at 24, if not 48, you know? It really feels all too soon that we are nearing the end. It's interesting, it's peculiar. I don't really feel that finale approaching. But yeah, besides that, episode 14, probably, possibly, maybe, confrontation with Ophelia, because we are on the way, and not just we, and by we I mean Oliver, Nanao, and Shella and Vera, but also Oliver's compatriots, and also the upperclassmen. So I fully expect all three groups to arrive at Ophelia's at different possible times, and it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. We also had the information from Miss Karst that there is another assassination target. I stabbed myself in the eye. That there's another assassination target that's already been picked. So I wonder if it's something that will be shown in episode 15, or is it something that's just been mentioned, but there are no plans to have that in this season. I hope for a second season. I'm not gonna lie. I am hoping for more. But yeah, in the previous episode, we went through some trials and tribulations, defeated some monsters. Everything was kind of sort of unclear, the progression, but you guys in the comments explained it to me, how they had to go through the nest of that gorilla monster, because that was the road to third level, I believe. And yeah, I got a little bit of an explanation. We know that Olivier did use some seeds to test how they work, but there wasn't really any stream, any bridge. He just, threw some seeds and grew a tree without much purpose. But those are, small little things that nevertheless did contribute to the previous episode feeling a little bit, or at least I myself feeling a little bit lost in the previous episode. Hopefully today's episode is going to be a little bit better about it. I can see in the first frame we will see Ophelia's childhood again, probably. In the previous episode we've already seen a little bit of Ophelia's childhood, how she's been used as an incubator, for the lack of a more proper word, ever since very early childhood, and her only friend seems to have been Carlos, who she believes is male, but doesn't succumb to her pheromones. And Carlos is very, how do I say it, androgynous. I'm still unsure of Carlos's gender, to be perfectly honest with you. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see where that goes. We'll see where Ophelia's childhood goes. And of course, one more important thing that happened in the previous episode was Albright is still not listed on the list of characters, which does him a huge disservice because he's an important character. But yeah, Albright had some things, some bombs hidden within his ribcage or something, gave them to Pete because Pete apparently sometime off screen turned into a male. That's why he was probably taken by Ophelia, and now he's turned into a female. And apparently, being hooked up by the throat to the umbilical cords is an anime original thing. So I guess that explains my question: why is Albright and Albright and Pete? Why are they not connected to the machine? Adaptation woes. Let me tell ya. Tell ya what. Adaptation woes. But yeah, now Pete has some additional weapons that he can use. One is a smoke bomb, one is an alert bomb, and one is a bomb that just explodes and creates a crater. So we're gonna see probably in this episode how all three teams are encroaching on Ophelia's location, and at the same time Pete is also trying to escape. That would be how I would imagine this episode to largely, for the most part, go. We'll see about it though. We'll see. To see that, of course, you will need your subs to follow along with me. I'm gonna need my sound, not my headphones. Okay, that works. I got them to work, even with ambient sound and whatnot. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I can't use my headphones because I had my ear re-pierced, and for some time I can't touch it or disturb it, so I'm gonna have to use my earphones. Oh well, what can you do? It's not the best thing in the world because my voice, I can hear it very weirdly. Oh yeah, like my voice in my head is way too loud. It's way louder than I think it is, but whatever. I'll manage. I'll manage somehow. But yeah, subs, sound, and I'm also gonna have to ask you guys for your support monetary on Patreon or YouTube, link down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word, costs nothing, helps a lot. And with all of that, we can start watching Nanatsu no Maken ga Shihai Suru episode 14 in 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, as succubi are wont to do. Could it be? Could it possibly be that Ophelia's research is about potentially getting rid of her succubus powers so that she can be a normal human, normal girl again, and be able to build normal connections with people that aren't just based on breeding and birthing children? Now that's a thought. Now that's a thought, isn't it? Actually, I'm just gonna note it down. Maybe we're gonna get an answer in this episode, maybe in the next one. Who's to say? but I would say it's worth taking note of. Not much space left. Mm-hmm. Ophelia researches getting rid of her powers so she can be a normal girl. Okay. Mealy Hand really likes Katie. I like Mealy Hand. They really found a connection, didn't they? Eh. Arguable. Oh. Right. He might end up like the Mexican alien. He's talking about Mexican aliens. uh, that's fucking teamwork. Yep. Okay, so they have officially entered the third layer. Yeah, in plain words. Innocence. Oh, you have medicine? Well, hope you have enough. A wicker boat, yeah. Okay, so tool plants can even grow boats. How do you control the tool plants? Do you like tell them what to grow into, or what's the deal? I'm all ears. Okay, we're gonna do a Jesus. Sure, who needs a boat? And Shella just needs to turn into her elf form and she can do it no problem. Nanao is gonna have issues, of course. I honestly half expected her to walk on water just through, I know, concentrating her chi on the surface or something. You know, a martial arts style walk on water rather than magic style. Am I speaking too loud? I don't know if I'm speaking too loud or. Am I being too. No. No, it's my normal volume. I think. Okay, memories of Mother Dearest. Well, that's not walking. That's water skating. Oh, okay, so he's not walking on water, but rather on air. Okay. I guess whatever works. Come on. Okay, easy. I was afraid that she's gonna have to reveal her elven form to Vera, but I guess not. Although it might very well have to happen eventually. Okay, a whole another way of getting past water. Okay, so that's why Lake Walk is out in this case. And how are Oliver's friends doing, I wonder? Oh, so they aren't lake walking, they are using the boat after all. Oh, hello. It's been a while. What you doing here? Is he being controlled by Ophelia? I guess it's possible. Or does he just want to meddle? Okay, he just wants to meddle. To Ophelia's research, yep. And the research is yours. Okay, so what you doing here? Casting something. Oh, controlling water creatures, of course. Okay, so the upperclassman is fucked. That was easy. Well, maybe not fucked because he's quite strong, so he probably will manage to deal with that chimera, but it's gonna take him a little bit of time. Yeah, I'm curious about that term as well. Okay. So I wonder if Ophelia actually legit going to die? Okay, being shunned by everybody except Carlos. Yeah. Okay. I guess that's one way to do it. That's one way to control yourself. Just a magical kick in the nuts. Why not? uh, Dolor? He's trying. He's really trying. But Ophelia's passive is way too strong. Did they not have the potion thing that Olivier took? Oh, that ain't Al, something tells me. Oh, it is, okay. Now he's unaffected. A reverse of a Pavlov's reflex. Okay, so the spells and medicine does exist. Yeah, I can imagine. Also, he's now gonna be able to cast one mean Crucio spell. Just instant testicular torsion. And why are they unaffected by Ophelia? Okay, so everything's been good. Everything's been going well. How come Ophelia secluded herself in the labyrinth then? I like the constant aura around Ophelia. Okay. The aloe vera spell. Well, that didn't hold true because you secluded yourself in the labyrinth for some reason. Again, I have to wonder what the hell happened. Okay, sure. Fair. Okay. Why did Ophelia basically join Rivermoor then? Well, not join, but, became a labyrinth recluse just like him. Okay, let's hear it. Yeah, that is a lot of young recruits. Because she is? Because Godfrey made her his right hand? Like when? Uh, okay, so that's the reason. And you're fucked. Shouldn't have stepped on a tiger's tail, as they say it. Okay, so she snapped or something? Is really that one encounter all it took for her to change so drastically? Something tells me it wasn't all. Okay, I guess it does somehow, still follow her. Bomb first. A smoke bomb. One more bomb left. The alert one. Okay. Thankfully, everybody's Athame. are there in a box. Give one of those Atame to Albright, maybe? And we end it here. Yep, of course. Salvadori. Okay, so this episode was essentially Ophelia's backstory. Not really that much more to it. Again, I have a distinct feeling that there is quite a bit missing from the whatchamacallit, compared to the light novel, right? There probably is still quite a bit. Because I really cannot imagine that this single encounter with a couple of bullies was enough to make Ophelia do a complete 180. Sure, it would be enough for her to smack them around with her womb monster. Absolutely, kill them even, perhaps. But snap to the point of killing one of her friends, give or take? Into completely changing her demeanor, her feelings, even, I would say, towards Alvin. Last song, well, now I'm afraid that Ophelia is actually going to die. I'd rather avoid it, if at all possible, but I don't know. Let's watch it again, shall we? And I'm gonna take one of those out. Yeah, now I can hear myself. Now it's much better. Okay, so Carlos, we still don't know what's the deal with Carlos. We know what's the deal with Ophelia. That, as I said at the beginning, she's essentially being used as a living incubator. Whoever wants a strong heir, for example, just, hey, we have Ophelia, she's gonna give you some nice children, she can give you however many children you want. Let's go. Like, let's make a fucking soccer team, why don't we? So, of course, she would have a very bad childhood and adolescence. One dreads to think how soon in her life, how early in her life it started. That's the scariest part, isn't it? I really like Mealy Hand. And Katie likes Mealy Hand, and Mealy Hand likes Katie. Yep, he's the only guy in the group down there. The pheromones are, of course, affecting him. Thankfully, we have medicine. I thought I'll go the rest of the way alone. Please head back to the surface. I really thought that what's going to happen here is that they build the boat and Karst will somehow take the boat, right? And I kind of missed this line, Olivier ordering Karst to go back, and Lano style lake walk. Yeah, this is when I started thinking that perhaps they will just walk across the lake and the boat will be used by someone else, perhaps by Karst, perhaps by Oliver's allies, by someone. But no, apparently they also use the boat in the end. I'll put my mana into the water surface just like I do when I use Grave Step. Yep, and it works. Right, and we have the memory of his mother just skating across the lake, not even walking, just skating. And so he repeats his mother's steps or slides. Skywalk. That technique is the key to unlocking a more powerful one. Okay, I thought that Ophelia said... Ophelia. What the fuck am I talking about? Vera says here that, oh, yeah, this is actually the more powerful technique that Olivier is using right now. It's Skywalk. It lets you walk on thin air. But no, he is using Lake Walk, but Lake Walk, if you master it, then you can slowly start learning Skywalk, which lets you walk on thin air. That's gonna be useful. Yeah, did she copy Olivier, or is it just her subconscious desire to stay by his side that gave her the ability to walk on water? That's a good question. Initially, I thought that perhaps it's Olivier also casting the spell on her, or somehow helping her stabilize her magic, or, you know, something along those lines. But yeah, maybe it's just Nanao's desire to walk alongside Olivier. Chella doesn't look all too happy. I guess she was stressing whether she's gonna be able to walk on water or not. I like Vera. I really like Vera. She's the reliable senpai, essentially, and they could really use a reliable senpai. Like, sure, there's Alvin, there's Carlos, but they are the student council or what have you, and Vera is just... And she's not, you know, lawful good. And it's very, very useful to have some people in your environment who aren't strictly lawful good. Meanwhile, they are using some sort of an incense to protect themselves from skyfish, and they're just going to fly. Another way to cross the river or the lake. Magic circle to create wind. Yeah, I have to wonder what's Rivermore's deal. Initially, I thought that perhaps he simply has been charmed by Ophelia. Because that would make sense, right? Sure, Ophelia has her chimeras and whatnot, but it could be useful to have a couple of servants, for the lack of a better word, to also protect her whereabouts. And he seems like a prime, you know, prime candidate for that position. But no, it doesn't seem like he's there for that. He's not here for the research either. He's not here to be the final visitor. What is he here for? Small obligation. I wonder what could it be. I wonder. I'm not the one who should be doing that. Yeah, it should probably be either Carlos or Alvin, or both of them. They are probably the most important people in Ophelia's life. Thankfully, chimeras can also come to our help. Yeah, what's a final visitor? When a person is consumed by the spell, someone visits them to witness their last moments. Sometimes it costs that visitor their life. So is being consumed by a spell final? Like, you start the process, essentially, of being consumed by the spell, and neither you nor anybody else can potentially break it. You can't be, like, you know, shaken out of it or taken out of it or saved in any way possible. Makes me wonder, what could possibly be the drive to become consumed by the spell then, in that case. Because I can understand it if you are doing your research and you're doing something big, and it's actually so big that it's past your abilities, so inadvertently you get consumed by the spell, right? What you're doing is way above your skill level, way above your pay grade. You thought you can do it, but you can't. And instead of you controlling the spell consumes you. Right? I can understand that. But this seems like it's willingly heading into the spell's maw, essentially, in Ophelia's part? Or is it that you don't realize that you're being consumed by the spell? Because if I were doing some research, I know, researching a really big fireball or whatever, and I start summoning this fireball, and I notice that, oh shit, I can't keep it up. I'm starting to be. I'm being consumed by the spell. I would just drop it and fucking run to save myself. Is it that you don't notice it? Or is it that once you notice it, it's already too late, so might as well just finish? And hope that your research at least gets passed to some future generations, to some other researcher who will continue your work and carry your legacy. And in that moment, your life isn't really that as important as your research. Maybe. Maybe that's what it is. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm still wondering if Ophelia can actually be saved. Something tells me she cannot, but I hope against all hope that just maybe, just perhaps. Of course, she's having trouble making friends because everybody shuns her because she's the monster, half monster at least, right? She will seduce your man. She will seduce you. She will use you as her slave. Yada, 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 right? The standard classic narrative. Thankfully, Alvin is here. This is great. This is amazing. I did not, in my wildest dreams, expect it. Just casting kick in the nuts spell. uh, and casting it so much and so often that eventually it works. Eventually it creates a Pavlovian response or counter Pavlovian response where you feel the pheromones and your association in the brain is pain. So, uh, it's great. That's an interesting face. In betweens are fun. Yeah, but she's not going to tell him to stop because she likes it. She likes the devotion. She likes that he's trying, he's trying to win her over. She enjoys it. And it's nothing bad, that she enjoys being cared for to that degree. And yeah, my base instincts have finally given in to the pain of being kicked in the crotch. There are medicine spells, yes. There are medicines and spells, but they only last for a certain amount of time and they are limited. I mean, spells perhaps less so, medicine more so, but this is just, I assume, permanent thing. So now he can be your friend, not in an, artificial way, right? He doesn't need to drink some potion to be able to go for a coffee with you. He doesn't need to cast a spell on himself to help you carry some books, right? He can just do that. And it has, it's a little bit better. It gives you a little bit of a better feeling that he can do those things out without, it's like it's as if you had a friend, quote unquote, who can only ever be around you when they're drunk, and when they are sober they just can't stand you, right? It's, can you really call that person a friend? It's kind of sort of deal here, not entirely, but, and yeah, of course, that pain is nothing. Lese di Inquen, second year, and Tim Linton, first year. Ophelia's pheromones have no effect on Tim, apparently. I'm the only one who needs any attention from Mr. Godfrey. Yeah, he really, really likes Godfrey, doesn't he? Potions, healing, sure, that's gonna be useful. How have they not gotten rid of this guy yet? This is actually a very good question I have. We know that students dying, be it during their research or during their classes even, or, just having duels after dark or what have you, it's not uncommon in this school. Just kill this guy. Right? Like, he's a danger to all of his fellow students. He's incorrigible. Why don't you just get rid of him permanently at this point? Right? It's not like you're gonna face some negative repercussions. Ophelia didn't face any repercussions after killing 3 students. Not even after killing the 4th one. So I assume that if you kill a fellow student, it's like, whatever. They were weak, apparently. They deserve to die. So why not just permanently get rid of him? He's a menace. But yeah, I guess the student council, Alvin, most of them all, is perhaps too good for his own good. Or at least was at that point way too idealistic. Maybe he still thought until the very last moment that Rivermoor will, I know, see the error of his ways or whatever. Wouldn't surprise me. What happened with Leah wasn't your fault, but yeah, as an upperclassman, it was my job to look out for her. Yep, it sure was. It sure was your job to see the tensions and to talk to her about her potential problems and to talk to your fellow students and to take them down a peg if need be. So I can see how he is feeling guilty for what happened. Yeah, let's show you just how strong I am. There we go. Strong enough for you? I would say strong enough for them. And good riddance. And good riddance. Yeah, good riddance to them, but what could possibly... Why did Ophelia change so much? Right? Even her dress, even how she dresses, what she wears, everything changed about her in seemingly in a day. Because this happened, well, it's probably not during the night, or maybe during, yeah, it's the evening. And this is during the day, so it's essentially the next day, I would think. Did she really do a 180 in a single night? Second of all, did nobody actually notice what happened? That 4 students just fucking became a stain on the pavement? Did nobody talk to Ophelia about it? Alvin? No? Nothing? Nobody did anything? Nobody noticed it except, like, Tim? Fucking Tim? Again, it's probably adaptation woes. The adaptation probably says that during this time Alvin was in the dungeon or the labyrinth looking for some lower classmen that got lost or something along those lines, and he wasn't here to talk to Ophelia. But as we are shown this in the show, it really kind of makes no sense how nobody tried doing anything. Nobody tried talking to Ophelia. And Ophelia herself just changed in a couple of hours. Right? She stayed a little bit up late, cutting her dress into pieces, and then the next day she already was wearing this and changed her demeanor, changed the way she carries herself, changed everything about herself. Doesn't make sense. You get mad and started letting your perfume spread everywhere. You're making a mockery of my feelings. You're trying to make me lose control and give in to lust. Well, yes, but why? Did she really snap? And this, are you planning on seducing Alvin too? And she doesn't deny that. She probably isn't planning on doing that. She never did, because her relationship with Alvin and her relationship with Carlos were the only true, real relationships she had that weren't influenced by her pheromones. So of course she wouldn't be planning on seducing him. But now she snapped to the degree where she doesn't deny it. Yeah, she doesn't deny it. And Tim is really into Alvin, isn't he? Also, she's not angry, she's not happy, she's just sad in this moment. So why would she do it? Why would she do that? And nobody noticed that Tim is missing in the fucking courtyard for the entire day? That's another weird thing. And yeah, Ophelia can't control herself anymore. She needs to go after Godfrey, I assume. Pete gets rid of the 2 bombs very quickly. Does he grab an Athame in the end? Yeah, he does. Okay, so that's good. And starts a beacon. I initially thought that it's going to be a little bit more of a breakout, arc, essentially, when Pete needs to be conservative with those 3 items and he needs to sneak around the chimeras or maybe sneak behind Ophelia's back, try to go through the maze of her hideout or, stuff like that. But it seems like the hideout is fairly close to the surface, and the breakout, if you can even call it that, really took just a couple of minutes. Cast the beacon. Yeah, someone's gonna notice it. It's a big ass fucking beacon. And in the marsh. And we are currently in the marsh, so probably fairly easy to notice. Episode 14, Salvadori. And I don't like the title of the next episode. Last Song. Because it implies Ophelia's gonna die. Yeah, it's gonna imply Ophelia's gonna die. Shit. Shit. Okay. So, that was episode 14. The penultimate episode of Nanatsu no Maken ga Shihai Suru. And maybe it's just the effect of getting used to how anime usually does it, that I feel like Ophelia can still be saved, can still be redeemed. But yeah, but I feel like it would be nice, you know? It would be nice to have her maybe, I don't know, maybe jailed, maybe forced to be on the student council again, or, you know, some sort of repercussions. But death is perhaps a little bit too much. Like, sure, okay, she killed Tim. That much is fairly inexcusable. She started sucking out all the other students. I guess as long as they are alive, that's also can be excused. The other 4 people that she splatted onto the ground, whatever, good riddance. I don't, I feel nothing for them. And you also gotta take into account that she was failed at every step. She was failed by her family, she was failed by the school, she was failed by Godfrey. At least he believes so. And I wonder if she believes so as well. And from what the show showed us, I'm inclined to believe it as well, that he did kind of sort of fail her, didn't, pay attention to what's going on, didn't talk to her. It was just him. It was just him. But yeah, I probably don't have the whole picture because it's an adaptation, and the light novel probably went into a little bit more detail. So, call me idealistic, but if we could redeem Vera, I would really like to see Ophelia also redeemed. I would really like to see Ophelia, Carlos, and Alvin reunited, trying to rebuild their relationship. I would really like to see Ophelia on the student council. Now that she's more mature and perhaps has more control of her powers, maybe she would be able to stop those pheromones, you know? Or at least lower their amount enough to be just nearly a regular student. I wonder. Probably not going to happen. With the talk about the last visitor, with the title being Last Song, especially the talk about the last visitor and how they themselves might be consumed by the spell as well, really makes me afraid that it's not just going to be Ophelia who's going to die, but also Carlos or Alvin. Either of them are going to be the last visitors, and they're going to perish together with Ophelia. It does make me question the nature of being consumed by a spell as well. Because in my imagination, all this time, being consumed by a spell was a spell or an experiment or what have you going out of control, and in the blink of an eye, you get consumed by it. Ophelia, far as we can hear, is being consumed by a spell, but she doesn't seem, controlled by it. She seems sane. more or less, it seems like she could just walk out and step back. Just free everybody, walk out to the surface, go back to school, and just stop the process. It really seems that way to me. But perhaps she's been doomed the moment she started? I don't know how it works. Maybe the next episode is going to explain things a little bit more. I wonder. Yeah, this show is kind of hard to predict because, yeah, as I said, otherwise in anime I would fully expect Ophelia to be redeemable and to be savable. But I don't think it's going to happen in this case. But on the other hand, it very well might, because I don't expect it to happen, so it might happen. This show is very hard to predict. Anything can happen. I repeated myself. Yeah, I keep repeating myself now. Anything can happen. I can expect Ophelia to die. I can expect Ophelia and Carlos to die. Ophelia, Carlos, and Alvin even to die. Maybe all three of them leaving the school without a student council. Maybe Olivier and Shella and the rest of the gang will have to pick up their mantle. Something along those lines. Maybe. Just as well, I can see an eventuality. I can see the timeline, like Oliver. I can see the timeline where perhaps Ophelia can be saved. Perhaps she can be rescued. Perhaps she can be redeemed. It would be preferable, but I don't have my hopes particularly up. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it. I think that's gonna be it. So, how does my outro go? I forgot. Yeah, that's gonna be it from me for today. So now it's your time to tell me in the comments down below what did you think of this episode, of my reaction, my theories, stuff like that. No spoilers, please. Spoilers, go to my Discord here and also linked in the description. Explanations when it comes to the light novel of things that happened in this episode, I leave it up to your discretion, but again, stay on the side of caution. Err on the side of caution, watch out for any spoilers. I'd rather not be spoiled the fucking finale. Tell ya what. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases of not only Nanatsu and Maken, Shihai Suru, but also Magic Record, Helck, Zom 100 whenever it comes out, Frieren, Shangri-La Frontier, Tate no Yusha Season 3, Undead Girl Murder Farce, and others, plenty of others coming at you in the future. I also stream sometimes, so you might want to click the bell icon to be notified when I go live. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, linked down below, where for $10 a month you get early access to non-seasonal shows like Magic Record, and for just $1 you get a role on the Discord and a place in the credits. You can also support me on YouTube itself via super thanks, super chats, memberships, stuff like that. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, share my content, spread the word, costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot. And now, with all of that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff. And I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's the list of my wonderful Patreons: QB without the net, Crippled Survivor, Zetran, Zay Rainer, Shoshu, Akumancer, Fassel, Davey, Dr. Watt, Marshy Gala, and Hans Peter. And you can join them without having to dollar your crotch.